Indiana, here's Colson. Behind the back, pull-up, jumper, gets it to go. Oh my goodness. Dawson fighting for that offensive board, gets it.
Caitlin Clark may be sidelined due to a groin injury, but that hasn't stopped her from continuing to be the face and spirit of the Indiana Fever, as she proved once again during the team's August 1st matchup against the Dallas Wings. Despite being unable to suit up and take the court, Clark made the trip to Texas with her teammates, embodying the same fierce loyalty and commitment that has made her such a revered figure in the WNBA. Even in her rookie year, the Indiana Fever managed to pull off an impressive 88-78 victory against the Wings, a testament to the team's growing chemistry and resilience. But beyond the basketball, one of the standout moments of the night came after the final buzzer, when Olympic gymnast and gold medalist Jordan Chiles, known for her electrifying performances and undeniable charisma, came down to the court to meet with Clark. The meeting was sweet, full of admiration and respect, but also infused with Clark's signature blend of humor and competitiveness. Chiles was decked out in a glittering WNBA jersey and eye-catching thigh-high boots, but what really caught Clark's eye was the sparkly Dallas Wings hat she'd worn during the game. Ever the competitor, Clark couldn't resist giving Chiles a gentle ribbing about it. In a video shared by the Indiana Fever's social media team on Twitter and Instagram, Clark was seen smiling warmly as she embraced Chiles and quipped, "Even though you had a Dallas Wings hat on, I'll let it slide." Her tone was lighthearted and playful, showing the friendly banter that often defines interactions between elite athletes who respect each other's accomplishments, even when they're technically rooting for the opposing side. Chiles, for her part, didn't back down from repping the hometown team and made no apologies, reinforcing the idea that athletes can show up for one another while still embracing local pride. The moment went viral almost immediately, not just because it featured two high-profile young women at the top of their respective sports, but because it showcased an authentic connection rooted in mutual admiration, competitive energy, and the joy of sport. Caitlin Clark has become something of a cultural force in women's basketball, with her razor-sharp three-point shots and record-setting college career drawing national attention long before she set foot on a WNBA court. Meanwhile, Jordan Chiles continues to be one of the most magnetic and resilient figures in gymnastics, particularly after stepping into a leadership role on Team USA following the high-profile withdrawal of Simone Biles during the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Together, their interaction represented something more than a casual courtside moment. It was a snapshot of the current generation of powerful, unapologetic female athletes lifting each other up, sharing the spotlight, and building bridges across sports. For Clark, the interaction was also a reminder that even from the sidelines, she remains deeply involved in the pulse of her team and the league. Though she hasn't been able to play every game due to her groin injury, she's made it a point to travel, cheer, and stay engaged. In today's hyper-competitive professional sports environment, it's easy for injured players to take a backseat while recovering. But Clark's presence on the bench and her willingness to engage with fans and fellow athletes continues to send a powerful message. Her leadership extends beyond what happens between the lines. The Indiana Fever's win over the Dallas Wings wasn't just another notch in the standings. It was a statement game for a team finding its rhythm after a rocky start to the season. It also served as a reminder that while Clark is undoubtedly a star, she's also part of a unit that's learning to win together, even when its brightest light isn't in uniform. Moments like these, when off-court connections meet on-court momentum, are what elevate the sport and deepen its cultural relevance. And for fans watching, especially young girls, seeing someone like Caitlin Clark joke with Jordan Chiles while also supporting her team and showing up for the community creates a narrative of unity, resilience, and joy. Social media lit up with reactions to the video, with fans of both gymnastics and basketball chiming in to celebrate the interaction. Many pointed out how rare and meaningful it is to see women athletes from different sports supporting one another in such a visible and genuine way. Others noted the stylish flair both women brought to the moment, Clark with her composed athletic swag and Chiles with her bold, bedazzled look, proving once again that fashion and fandom can absolutely coexist in women's sports. Commentators, influencers, and fans alike praised Clark's sense of humor, her ability to connect, and her ever-present competitive fire, even when she's not playing. Meanwhile, Chiles was celebrated for her confidence, her unapologetic support of her team, and her vibrant personality that lights up every space she enters. The moment felt emblematic of a new era in women's sports, one that's collaborative, celebratory, and increasingly visible. As the WNBA continues to grow in popularity, fueled in part by the arrival of standout rookies like Clark and the consistent excellence of veterans like Aja Wilson and Breena Stewart. Interactions like these help to humanize and elevate the league. They give fans a reason to stay engaged beyond just stats and standings. They tell stories. They create memories. And they offer glimpses into the personalities that make these athletes so much more than just players. Caitlin Clark letting it slide that Jordan Chiles wore a Dallas Wings cap may have been a throwaway comment in the moment, but it encapsulated so much competitive camaraderie, respect across disciplines, the intersection of fandom and sport, and the rise of unapologetically authentic female athletes. It also reinforced Clark's growing role not just as a basketball player, but as a cultural ambassador for the game. Whether she's hitting deep threes or playfully calling out an Olympic gymnast for her headwear, Clark brings charisma and confidence to every space she occupies. Her continued visibility, even while rehabbing an injury, keeps fans connected and reminds everyone watching that being an athlete isn't just about performance, it's about presence, personality, and passion. And for Chiles, her unapologetic support of the home team while embracing one of basketball's brightest stars highlighted exactly how layered and rich the experience of modern women's sports can be. It's colorful, it's competitive, it's community-driven, and it's never short on sparkle, whether that sparkle comes from a sequined jersey, a dazzling performance, or a twinkle of mischief in the eye of someone like Caitlin Clark, always ready with a smile, a hug, and just the right dose of playful shade.
Boston, nice seal inside, gets behind the defense, puts it up and in.
Well, that Aliyah Boston shoots it at a 61% clip. She's not going to miss those in there.
Jordan Chiles, known as much for her charisma and vibrant style as for her incredible Olympic gymnastics talent, brought her signature sparkle to the August 1st Indiana Fever vs. Dallas Wings WNBA game, where a post-game encounter with Caitlin Clark turned into a viral and heartwarming moment of mutual admiration and playful ribbing. Chiles, ever the fashion-forward fan, wore a custom bedazzled Dallas Wings hat to the game, one of many in her growing collection of bespoke WNBA gear crafted by her best friend and designer, the talented Holly of Hats by Holly, tagged as at H0LIWOODSA_hats on Instagram. After the game, where the Fever secured a strong 88-78 win, despite Clark being sidelined with a groin injury. Chiles and Clark shared a memorable courtside meeting. As Clark embraced Chiles, she couldn't help but call out the sparkling Wings hat, telling her with a smirk, "Even though you had a Dallas Wings hat on, I'll let it slide." Chiles laughed and responded that the hat was custom, made just for her, and proudly explained that she actually has one for each team. Clark's response, "That's fire." This exchange, lighthearted but full of personality, quickly made the rounds on social media, turning into another example of how athletes across different sports uplift and celebrate each other. In a sports landscape that has often pitted women against each other or kept their leagues siloed from mainstream attention, moments like this help break those barriers. It wasn't just a conversation about hats, it was about mutual respect, personal expression, and the cultural impact of women athletes who unapologetically take up space, both athletically and stylistically. Chiles' support of the WNBA is nothing new, but her bold and glamorous fashion statement at the game, complete with thigh-high boots and a rhinestone-studded jersey, reminded everyone watching that fandom can be as creative as it is loyal. And with each hat she dons, whether for Dallas, Indiana, or any other team in the league, Chiles expands what it means to be a fan. Not just cheering from the stands, but creating an aesthetic celebration of the league's diversity and spirit, with the 2025 WNBA season heating up and interest in the women's game reaching historic highs. Thanks to rookies like Caitlin Clark and veterans continuing to dominate, fans like Chiles are doing their part to bring visibility and flair to the courtside experience. It wouldn't be surprising to see more celebrities and athletes follow suit. In fact, the Indiana Fever's next big home game on August 9th against the Chicago Sky might just feature another GOAT in attendance, Simone Biles. The four-time Olympic gold medalist, gymnast, and longtime teammate of Chiles already made waves earlier in the season when she attended her first WNBA game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse alongside Olympic sprinter Gabby Thomas. That night, the Fever pulled off a tight 84-80 victory against the Connecticut Sun, and Biles and Thomas got the full fan experience, meeting the entire Indiana roster post-game. Biles later promised fans that it was the first of many WNBA games she planned to attend, and with Chiles now openly collecting team-specific custom hats, there's a real possibility we'll see both gymnasts courtside, decked out and showing love for the women of basketball. In a world increasingly obsessed with crossover culture, where athletes transcend their sport and become icons of fashion, activism, and influence, these appearances matter. They're not just cameos, they're endorsements, connections, and validations of the growing status of women's sports. For young fans watching, especially young girls, they offer something uniquely powerful: the image of women supporting women, celebrating one another's victories, and refusing to dim their lights. When you see an Olympian like Childs joking with Caitlin Clark, or Biles exchanging smiles with the Fever Squad, it reinforces the idea that greatness isn't confined to one arena. It exists in how athletes carry themselves, support one another, and show up literally and figuratively for the culture. Clark's willingness to engage with fans, even while recovering from injury, speaks volumes about her understanding of her role in this movement. She's not just here to play. She's here to grow the game, connect with fans, and be present in the moments that shape the future of women's basketball. And Childs, with her radiant personality and unapologetic flair, brings an energy that celebrates not just the players but the culture of the league itself. Her custom hats aren't just accessories, they're statements of commitment, creativity, and community. And as the 2025 season continues, there's every reason to believe we'll see even more collaborations and unexpected intersections between sports. Already, fashion designers, stylists, and influencers have begun taking cues from Childs' look, with fan pages and WNBA merch accounts buzzing about how to order their own blinged-out team gear. Some are even calling for a WNBA x Jordan Childs collab, imagining a future where player and fan aesthetics collide in officially licensed fashion lines. And why not? The demand is there. The energy is right. The league is evolving, and so are its fans. Beyond the glitz and glamour though, what resonates most is the sincerity. Childs isn't there for a photo op, she's there because she loves the game. She sees herself in these athletes, and in turn, they see themselves reflected in her. It's a mutual admiration society where excellence is the common language. Whether it's through tumbling passes or three-point shots, these women are redefining what sports stardom looks like in the 21st century. And with the media spotlight finally shifting toward women's leagues, there's never been a better time to amplify these moments. As Clark continues to rehab and prepare for her return to the court, she remains a central figure in these cultural intersections, not just because of her skill, but because of her charisma and relatability. Her interaction with Childs wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't commercial. It was just two young women who've become icons in their fields, sharing a laugh, a hug, and a brief but memorable exchange that reminded us all why we care about sports in the first place. It's about more than competition, it's about connection. And as Jordan Childs continues to make appearances, flaunting her dazzling collection of team gear, it's likely we'll see her influence ripple even further. Maybe she teamed up with other athletes to promote WNBA awareness. Maybe she designed her own signature hat line. Or maybe she just keeps showing up, dazzling and unapologetic. Whatever the case, the league is better for it. So is the culture. And so are we.